You ready there,
Rock and roll.
Justice?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to call this April Planning Commission meeting to order. If we can have roll call, please.
Dana Camp,
Here.
Nanette Reese,
Here.
Robin Bridges,
Here.
Warren McCord, Bob Reichenbach,
Here.
Wendy Birmingham,
Here.
David Wisdom,
Here.
Joseph Astrup,
Here.
Bill Chancellor.
Here.
Thank you. Before we get started tonight, I would like to give a brief overview of the process of the public meeting of the Auburn City Planning Commission. The commission will be presented with agenda items by staff. The representative for the agenda item will then have an opportunity to make comments and/or answer specific questions. And then the public hearing will be opened per item as necessary. We want everyone to be heard, and we ask that you keep your time to 5 minutes. And please keep your comments relevant to the case at hand. After everyone has spoken, the public hearing will be closed, and a representative and staff will then have the opportunity to answer any questions that have come up in the public hearing process. After that, the commissioners will be up for discussion and a vote. The commission will vote based on the state laws, local laws, and the comprehensive plan for the city of Auburn. In addition to subdivision plats, by Alabama statute, the Municipal Planning Commission, such as ours, is the final approval authority for subdivision plats. We welcome any and all public comments, and if you have anything after the fact, please reach out to staff. Thank you. At this time, we will open citizens' communication. This is if you have anything you would wish to speak about that is not on tonight's agenda. Seeing no one, we will move forward. We do not have any old business, but we do have a consent agenda. That consent agenda is packet meeting minutes for March 11th, regular meeting minutes for March 14th, final plat for Tuscany Phase 5B, and a final plat for Dawson Villas Subdivision Phase 2.
Move to
Commissioners-
approve consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. On to new business.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Just give me 1 second here. All right, the first item on new business tonight is a conditional use request for Children's House. This is a conditional use for the expansion of an existing institutional use, a private school daycare. The property is located at 231 East Drake in the RDD district. There's many uses around it. The Jan Dempsey Art Center is south of the property, and there are different housing types, townhouses, duplexes, single family in the surrounding neighborhood. The school has actually been in operation since the 70s, and that was prior to our conditional use process. And since this is an expansion of a use within the RDD, they do need the conditional use approval now. They are wanting to expand the school and build about a 1,400 square foot, every time. How do I go back? Okay. In this location is a 1,400 square foot building, which will house additional students, and this will increase their capacity up to 50, I believe. We did receive one item of correspondence from a citizen in support of the use, and staff does recommend approval, and I believe the applicant is here as well. And if you have any questions.
Thank you. Representative is here. Would you like to say anything at this time?
I do whatever my wife tells me to do.
You're so sweet.
Thank you.
Smart.
So, I'm Fred Cam. My wife, Charlene, when we moved to Auburn in 1997, one of the challenges we had was finding an appropriate preschool system for our children. So, my wife decided that there wasn't one, And so she decided to take the opportunity and open a Montessori preschool based on the Montessori philosophy. That was at our home, and at one point the village school decided to close down, and they approached us, and Charlene felt that there was a great need and a continuing need in the community. And that resulted in us purchasing that property and then expanding to the point that she is now. I will tell you, I know we're on record, if it were up to Fred Cam, he's heading into retirement. He doesn't necessarily want to invest in a new building. But this is her legacy, and she's been doing it. It's her passion, it's her legacy. There's a huge need and demand. She's got a 3-year waiting list. And so this will help with that 3-year waiting list. In addition to that, she's gotten a lot of requests from parents to continue and expand her curriculum. And so that's why we've made this decision to make this investment into the community. So,
Great.
any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
This does require a public hearing. I will open that now. Please feel free to come forward and speak. Seeing no one, we will close the public hearing. Commissioners?
I'll move to approve KCU 2024-008.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
It's coming right back up.
One of my favorite things we
Going
do.
back and forth.
We could plan that a little better.
I have no more.
Saying.
All right, so this request is for conditional use approval of a performance residential use, specifically a multiple unit development located at 814 North College Street, just south of Shelton Mill Road. As you can see, the subject property is zoned within the redevelopment zoning district, otherwise known as RDD, and it's surrounded to the south, east, and north within the same zoning district of RDD, and right across North College to the west is zone DDH. The applicant has proposed to develop 5 dwelling units with 4 bedrooms each, totaling 20 bedrooms on approximately 0.95 acres. The proposed density is approximately 5.26 dwelling units per acre, which is less than the 8 dwelling units per acre recommended by the medium density residential future land use, and is also far less than the 16 dwelling units per acre maximum allowed in the RDD zoning district. This conditional use request was approved for this same site back in August of 2021. But I think it's worth noting that the density of 5.26 dwelling units per acre is far less than the 12.37 units per acre that was approved at that time. So with that being said, staff is recommending approval of this request. I'm willing to answer any questions, and the applicant is also here to answer any questions.
Applicant? Right, this does also require a public hearing. We'll open that now. Good evening.
Good evening, good evening. My name is Lindbergh B. Jackson. Some of you guys I know, some I don't. But
May we have your address, please?
814, this is my address that we're talking about. I am objecting to this particular development because right now, my mother came to you guys, or it came to you guys before, as your planner had stated, and you guys approved it. And when you guys approved it the last time, my mother was 88 years of age, did not know that only thing she had was a survivorship right to the property. Someone in the planner's office didn't check the deeds, shot right past you guys all the way up to the council, got approved without my sister and my consent. Didn't look at the deeds, didn't read the deeds or whatever, but it got approved. It went through, it failed. My mother, at her age, started having some problems, and etc. I'm not knocking what you guys approve, but somebody didn't do a facts check and a check and balance. Since that time, my mother's passed away. Today, I presented to your planner a copy of what my law firm, or what the law firm that we're using to contest the title of this property, because this property is now being challenged in the Alabama Supreme Court. Some of you guys kind of might have heard about the property over on Ogletree Road that the Cleveland was buying. There was a new statute brought into existence, an heir's rights, having the first right. The judge was not aware. You might be looking at today, you might be looking at a clerk's deed. But whatever decision you make today, it would hinge upon what the Supreme Court of the state of Alabama is looking at concerning that law. We filed it under that statute. These developers, I feel like they bombarded my mother because of her age, and my brother for other reasons of privacy that I can't say anything about now. But I filed what's called a list pending to put you guys on notice that these people, even though they have a clerk's deed, I've signed nothing. I've accepted no money. Everything that I own is in that property right now. I haven't been evicted, ejected, or anything of that nature. Reason I'm wearing these, I had cataracts. That's why I wasn't here before. I didn't see, couldn't drive, didn't know what was going on until it was a little too late to come to the meeting. But after researching it, I discovered you guys approved that. And I'm gonna leave this list pending with the proper authorities over here. I've given it to Mr. Cotton because I felt like he needed to know this. It was filed this afternoon. The law firm, we haven't heard, we probably won't hear from the Supreme Court for a month or so. But I would appreciate it if you guys would table this until such time as the Supreme Court makes their ruling. Thank you. My sister is here. She wasn't aware. She lives in Montgomery as well. She might want to say something. But as of today, I have not approved of this sale or development. Thank you all for your time and your listening.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak? Okay. At this time, I'll close the public hearing. Representative and staff.
Brett Basquin with the Foresight Group. I'll just say that we have a deed on the land. The land is sold. The sale was due to a judgment in court. It's a civil matter that has nothing to do with the use of the property that we're talking about tonight. So, we would appreciate you moving forward with reviewing this application. Thank you.
Thank you. With the public hearing closed, can I ask City Attorney proper way to move forward?
I'm Paul Clark for the City Attorney's Office. From a procedural standpoint, we have comments from the public related to a Liz Pendens, which has been filed on the property as of this afternoon. The developer has provided, as part of its application, a deed, a clerk's deed from the Circuit Court of Lee County, which vests all title and interests in the property into the applicant, CAM Real Estate LLC, as the recipient of the clerk's deed. A Liz Pendens, from a legal perspective, is simply notice of a claim, that someone has a claim, that they believe that they have a right in the property. The filing of a Liz Pendens does not make any determination or provide any weight to one argument or another to the validity of the claim. And so at this point in time, you have before you a request from a developer that has a deed recorded in the Lee County Probate Office in its name, which does satisfy the requirement that the developer show that they have the legal right to do the things they are requesting before this planning commission. The lis pendens does not override that. It simply lets the world know, including this body, that someone has filed a claim against the property.
Okay, so we move forward, make a decision, all of this would just be within whatever the courts see fit
It's-
to choose to see and watch.
That's very correct. It is not the purview of this body to make an adjudication or determination as to whether or not the lis pendens is proper or properly filed, or whether the claim asserted in the lis pendens is valid.
So in
That's
other-
solely up to the court
In
system.
other words, we're to treat this as there is no challenge until a determination by a court says that it's owned by a different party.
I would say that differently.
Okay.
What I would say is you have a deed in front of you that vests the applicant with the legal right to do what it has requested this body to do. You have a challenger in some respect in relation to title to that property, but that this body does not have the authority to make any determination except whether or not the applicant has the legal right to do, as the matter is before this body, to do what he is requesting to be done. And he does. Did that answer your question?
No.
Take your attorney hat off, David. Just a planning commissioner.
Fair enough.
Commissioners, you feel confident about moving forward with this?
Sure, I'd like
Decision.
to make a motion to approve case 2024-014.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion will carry. Thank you all.
Good evening. For this item, the applicant is requesting a conditional use approval for industrial use, specifically a manufacturing facility located at 380 Industry Drive in the Auburn Industrial Park. This is a historical site plan on file. I apologize for its rudimentary nature. The previous use of the property was a building materials manufacturing facility. Like all industrial uses or uses within the industrial district, it has to go through a conditional use process. The most recent time it's been through was 2021 for an expansion of the building materials manufacturing facility. However, that expansion was later withdrawn in the DRT process, and the property has sat vacant for over 12 consecutive months, thus triggering this process again. This new proposed use is a little bit different in nature. I believe the applicant is a manufacturer for the automobile manufacturing process. Staff has no major comments and recommends forwarding to City Council for approval.
Thank you. Is the applicant here or a representative?
Yes, they are.
Okay, thank you. Do you wish to speak at this time? Okay, this does require a public hearing, so I'll open that now. Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing. Commissioners?
Move to approve CU 2024-015. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
All right, yeah, thank you. Yeah, so this is a preserve phase 7 preliminary plat. So the request is for a preliminary plat approval for a conventional residential subdivision of 190 single-family residential lots. I just want to go to the next slide, please. Yeah, so like I said, this is just a continuation of the preserve. This is, oh, I'm sorry. So this is a continuation of the preserve. The recommendation is for approval. It's phase 7. So we've already had a lot layout meeting. Typically, when you see preliminary plats that are greater than 25 plats, we'll have the lot layout. So they've already discussed it with engineering. The recommendation is for approval. I know it says like with staff comments, but even though it's a lot of comments kind of listed on the page, there's really no concerns that can't be worked out in DRT or by the final plat. So like I said, the recommendation is for approval, and then turn it over to you if you have any other questions. And the applicant is
Thank you.
here.
Representative is here. You wish to say anything at this time?
Good evening. I'm Kenneth White with Flowers and White Engineering. I can entertain any questions, should y'all have any. But, like I said, the staff comments, I've addressed those and sent them back this morning. Again, a lot of them were clarifications, sewer's available, water's available, but again, I addressed those comments and sent them back this morning. But should you have any questions, please let me know.
Okay, thank you. This does require public hearing as it's a preliminary plat. If there is anyone here who'd like to come and speak to this agenda item, please come forward now. Okay, no one is here for this agenda item, so we'll close the public hearing. Commissioners,
Move to approve PP 2024-004 with comments.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And that concludes our agenda items. Do we have any communication?
No. Just we had our last public input meeting, open house last night at I guess just right up the complex here. Went pretty well. I think it was our most attended. Had about 24 people. So the next week we'll have the planning commission work session, just kind of with the future land use plan, and then I'll share the proposed changes and a lot of the feedback we got. So we got to make some edits. We're going to talk about that as a staff tomorrow, and then we'll be, like I said, we'll be ready to talk about it next week, and then we'll start the process of finally getting the 5-year update to the 2030 comp plan approved.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any questions? You got a question, Robin?
No questions.
All right.
That was not clear. Okay. Well, we're adjourned.